This is from Financial Audit with Caleb Hammer. I finally snapped. 3, 2, 1, and go.
I do not speak with my parents.
You chose. They did not choose.
They chose extremism over their child.
Okay, says the blue hair. Got it.
Yeah. The extremism, I guess disagreeing with her is supposed to be extremism now, and hate speech, and probably would not be shocking in the least if she wants to put her own parents into some sort of modern day dissident concentration camp.
Housing has just gone up.
Wow, what a nuanced take.
I've called before
You've called people?
Well, I've called.
Oh,
I
Oh,
tried
she called the bank.
and I tried to like.
oh, what a well done! What a big girl you are! You did the adulting thing. You called the bank. I think you'll like this video. Full disclosure, chat. I've actually seen the video. I have both seen and heard reacts from Leaflet, a little bit from Celestium and from Kirsha. Now you're going to get his lordship's take on all of this.
Find out if I'm interested in
The cost of
buying a
housing
house.
should go down, bank.
I want to see people's lives improved.
Yeah. That is just like the conversations I have with my banker. Beep boop beep. Hello. Yes, is it the bank? Yes, Lord Rexworth here. Could you be a dear and lower the housing costs for me? I'm trying to get myself a fancy new mortgage. Yes, all right. Well done. Toodle pip.
And the government has a role to play in because
People
they
disagree
like
with you
a
slightly
pedophile.
and they're a fascist.
I've seen families like torn apart.
Oh, don't performative cry. No one gives a
Yeah,
fuck or
fuck off
empathize
with your
fake
crocodile
crying.
tears.
Your needs met so that you can dream.
I'm sorry, not everywhere is going to thrive.
No, everyone
Communities
should
got
thrive.
That's
what
not
socialism
possible.
is.
Are you sure they're the extremists? That seems like a more extremist position. You're one of those people I'm already reading if they disagree.
Yeah, calls everybody else an extremist. Is an extremist herself. I participated and I got a trophy.
With 1% of things, they're a fascist.
Oh, that was such a mistake.
No, answer the question,
Well,
or I am ending this podcast. Answer the question.
Don't wait for the translation. Answer me now. Brother, even my most patient followers are making me one of the crazy extremists. It's like Betty Goldwater once said, extremism in defense of liberty is no vice.
I'm Doomsday. I'm 25. I'm from South Dakota.
What the hell sort of name is Doomsday? And also, South Dakota. I'm sorry, South Dakota, people of South Dakota, hello? Is everything all right? Is she really from South Dakota? Are we sure about that, or is she just a transplant from California? This does not look like a normal woman. Well, obviously not a normal woman, but South Dakota of all places. I don't know, perhaps she started out in life as a hicklib. But if you know anything about hicklibs, they're insufferable people. She clearly isn't a medieval book listing the names of people in England. It fits her. Yes. Her name is Doomsday. If you see Doomsday coming, run.
And this is Financial Audit. Dun, 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 dun.
Stop. Stop that now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was lame. That was incredibly lame and gay. Gotta do some work for Celestium now. I hope you have fun with the blue-haired idiot. Catch post this react today, early tomorrow on Clips channel. Excellent. All right, take care, ladders. Thank you.
You've never seen Disney Channel?
That was Disney.
Well, I don't know if the Mickey Mouse will be thrilled to be referenced.
Doomsday's a weird fake name, but we gave you a weird fake name because you chose for yourself in your real life a weird fake name.
Chosen for me, but
Your parents named you that?
my chosen family did.
A chosen family.
It's
Who'd
cool.
you choose to be a family?
Whoa.
What's
in the
that?
Yeah, chosen family. Unless you're formally adopted, that's not really a thing. Bet her favorite hero is Dr. Doom. Probably. Would not surprise me. It's a virtue signal about, liking the heroes, but secretly, she fucks with the villains. Yeah, chosen, right. Yeah. Sounds like something a demon would say, trying to pretend to be human. For them, words are just a means of deceiving humans.
Your community, yeah, you don't always get to maintain your most close relatives, your blood relatives. So you
Oh, yeah, because they just, won't go along with whatever you say and automatically agree with you and enable your shitty life choices. So you disown them and go off and find yourself some little cargo cult of people that that will enable all of your delusions and say, oh yeah, dyeing your hair mint blue like that to make yourself look like Timu Miku from or yeah, Timu Miku, that Hatsune Miku is a good thing. Yeah, get yourself some hipster glasses that, make you look like a an aging spinster who's getting old before your time. Is probably going to die alone with no children and look like you barely survive off minimum wage at a at a Unitarian Universalist reading room with little cloud. I guess these are supposed to be sunglasses up here. Which, hey, you put those on, all of a sudden you can be an old woman yelling at clouds. Hatsune Miku is taken from Japan by Brazil, then by Norway. Now Miku belongs to England. Yes, she is now an English woman.
like
Well,
you,
did they
you build.
dismiss you?
No.
Well, sounds like you maintain them.
I do not speak with my parents.
You chose. They did not choose.
Mm-hmm.
Their decisions have made our relationship what it is today.
What's this?
They dared to disagree with her, so she disowned them. She went no contact. Her glasses even have chains so she can hang her glasses by the back of her neck. Something like that.
They choose.
They chose extremism over their child.
Okay, so
Oh.
blue hair. Got it. Okay. Which
Right.
usually qualifies towards more extreme people. Usually, what's their
Yeah.
extremism?
They're
Yeah. These are the colors of danger in nature, chat. Usually it's, the colors of the poison dart frog or something. Someone has hair color like this, they're saying, I'm dangerous. I'm poisonous. I am literally a toxic individual, and I will fuck up your life if you hang around me. So stay away. And these people also have the audacity to bitch, moan, and whine about how lonely they are later on.
extremes are just
Look at this girl. If she wasn't insane, she'd be a catch a man would cherish, but she went stupid. Yeah? In an alternate reality, she never left South Dakota and just, continued her provincial life there and grew up into a much more wholesome looking, wholesome thinking young lady who married herself a, boy next door or something like that.
not very minority inclusive, despite what they might say. Their actions.
Oh no, they dared to question. They don't automatically believe the claims and the allegations and the moaning and whinging of black and brown people. Oh no.
Say otherwise.
What's their actions that are so extreme? They kill minorities?
They're not helping them.
Well, now
Not helping them. I mean, what would you have them do? I don't know, maybe I can fix her. There is no fixing this woman. There is no fixing this woman. There really is no fixing people like this.
not helping's extreme? Wait, what's helping?
We've had
Yeah, what does that look
extended
like?
conversations about
What's that look like,
what
Girly Pop?
politics looks like in the world, and when they
And it doesn't look like the way I want it to look like. And they wanted to look like something else, and I don't like that, so I went no contact with them because anyone who doesn't like the way my politics looks like is an evil fascist Nazi. And they're literally worse than Hitler.
discuss it, the things that they say or choose not to say are pretty detrimental. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like extremism.
No,
You know
it
what the
just sounds like they disagree with her and she doesn't like that, and she's having a tantrum because she's got arrested development and is just a little spoiled brat, masquerading as an adult woman. Super Nazi.
What extremism means?
Yeah.
What do they do that's extreme?
Yeah,
There was
seriously.
once upon a time when Kamala came out with
Kamala, thank you. You're gonna get
Yeah. What?
canceled for that.
Yeah. Watch your tone, girly pop.
she was talking about how our current president wanted to have generals more like dictators of old.
Okay.
And I asked my parents what they felt about that, and they said they needed the context. And I said, under what context is it okay to like want
Well,
Hitler's
maybe
generals?
they wanted.
So they dared to ask a question, and she went no contact over that. They said, I require context. And she went no contact over that. That's all it took. And it leads me to think that maybe she was just looking for an excuse to just ditch them and go no contact. Perhaps she really was just looking for an excuse because she really is that ungrateful of a daughter. The absolute copium on her part. People like that chat grow up being brainwashed for years. Oh, yes. Why did that get modded? I don't know. It might be something the AI decided was a no-no thing. I hope you have a Tylenol ready, Rex. We'll see. Imagine being able to talk shit about your dictator president. Crazy how that's unheard of in many other countries. I know, right? President Trump, such a terrible, horrible president that he bans all criticism. Oh, wait, he doesn't do that. Looks like, yeah, Bandawaki, yours got modded by the AI as well, but it also is rather incoherent. So I think on the incoherency, we will let it stand. And I'm also not going to read that. Blame the parents more than the child. I don't know. Don't know the parents. Something happened to her. Someone got in her head. Or some people got in her head and flooded her mind with all sorts of shitty ideas. Or who knows, it could have been something as simple as she got access to a smartphone and the internet and apps like TikTok, and it just rotted her brain. That's why I don't use TikTok. And I encourage other people, don't use TikTok. It's just going to rot your brain. Universities, it could be universities, yeah. I like to use the Dankula example. Even under Hitler's regime, they didn't in the end jail the Finnish comedian for the dog Hitler parody. Yeah, UK has gone horribly wrong. It's just gone horribly wrong. Dante Valentine, welcome in. Good evening, Lord. Marvelous to see you here tonight. Good to see you as well. Please just call me Rex. Maybe it was herself and a 40-plus something-year-old feminist quote-unquote friends on Tumblr. Could be. Could be. Don't know. Who knows where she went so horribly wrong, but we see the fruits of that, don't we?
Wanted to understand if he was doing his classic grifting or if he was being an actual dictator, which would be bad. But we know, if you follow politics, which I assume you do, he is a rifting guy, and you take like a grain of salt with pretty much everything,
Yeah.
including saying
A fair, if we're going to be critical of anything, yeah. I think that would probably be the fairest critical assessment I have heard of President Trump, is that it doesn't go hard enough. And the reason being is that a lot of this is kind of a grift for him. He lost a lot of money in his business empire after his first term. And he has done a lot to get it back and then some through what can only be described most charitably as highly questionable means. But he is also now richer than he's ever been in his whole life. Holy ADD, Rex, that's a lot of tabs. 100 subs and I will do a marathon stream where I don't stop until I finally close out every last one of these tabs. Sorry about the misfire, finger got ahead of the brain. It's all right. Just, spell check next time, please.
peace is close in Iran, which I think you would agree with.
And also, like,
So-
threatening to nuke them, an entire population.
Exactly, which
yeah.
wouldn't be great.
That's a pretty
But
extreme.
I think
that's pretty extreme action.
which we haven't done. So I would say an extreme action was not done.
It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to do it. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Redeem Pyonli. I have to go get some more hydration here soon.
Did bomb the bridge, yeah.
A bridge. Yeah, that never happened
Bombed
before.
a bridge. Oh my god.
So, okay.
Are
It's
you
like, is that the best you've got? It's like, oh my god, the president bombed a bridge somewhere. Oh. Okay. Was it a big bridge? Were there people on it? Or was there cars and trucks and lorries and buses on it? Or was this one of these things where they sort of just did a demolition project in the middle of the night? Nobody was there, and it's just everyone woke up the next morning. It's like, oh, look at that. Bridge is out. I wonder who did that. Oh, it was the Americans. Huh. Funny that. Heavens to Betsy, not the bridge.
War?
A pro-war, I think, well, like your parents would say, context matters. Pro-war, I mean, that
Yes.
depends on what's happening. Are we defending ourselves? What are we pro-war overall?
Well, are we defending ourselves in Iran?
Iran? Am I pro-Iran war? It's obviously the
Well, you're
consequences
saying
have
that
not been great.
bridges get burned or
Well, if
blown
that's what you were
up in
freaking out
war.
about, a bridge, like I'm
No, I mean, Iran war started out strong. No, it's just kind of turned into a bit of a quagmire and kind of a shit show. It's like they keep talking about peace talks and then they bomb more shit. And then they talk about peace talks and then they bomb more shit. And at some point in the middle of it all, Iran is just like, yeah, Strait of Hormuz is closed again. And nobody's really listening. The ships are still getting through. Because they're just like, fuck you, buddy. We'll go through anyway. I'm like, no, stop, you can't do that. We closed the Strait of Hormuz. We said so. We said so on social media. And, the merchant marines and all the maritime traffic is just like, how about I do anyway? Damn, there goes my bridge I was going to sell. Thanks, Trump. Yes, sir, it's not appropriate to allow that, but I fail sometimes. I just, bloody shop floor grunt after all. Remember the evening news on TV too, including Trump quotes offering tons of money to every person in Denmark and Greenland in exchange for Greenland. Yeah, and at some point that comes back into the conversations. Apparently that's still a thing, that the Americans want Greenland. It'd be a tasty power move from Trump to end the Iran war in a big splash short of the midterms. Imagine the newfound support. It's possible that's what they're doing. Political theater-wise, they're just dragging this out till close to the midterms, and that's the October surprise. Usually the strategy, I don't know why any politicians figured out ceasefire doesn't mean peace. No, it doesn't. It just means that they stop firing at each other. A peace accord usually means the end of a war.
like, okay, a bridge, I'm okay.
Well,
I'm
you
more
were
care
talking
about the
hypotheticals and blowing up a
if you're
bridge.
going to call out
wasn't a-
something bad, how about the school? I mean, I think that was a little
That
less
one
fortunate.
too.
A bridge, don't really care. But your parents saying they need more context isn't an extreme position. Asking to understand what was being said, why and how is not extremism. So you
Well,
cut them
No, it's
off.
but
not.
there's
Wait,
no
wait, wait.
amount
No, no,
of
no.
context.
This is
And-
yes, there actually is.
and-
There's context in everything that's ever said.
Yeah.
Because that's always important. There's context in this conversation.
Mm.
There's context that I'm getting on you not being involved with your family.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that is because
Well,
I was like,
but
oh, you have a little
specifically
bit
my
of a weird
parents.
name.
Yeah.
Your family. And you have a weird name. So I got context of why you had a weird name is because your
She changed her name and went no contact with her parents because her parents effectively told her no. She was a spoiled little brat who ran away from home because her parents dared to not even necessarily tell her no, but just ask for context, which in her mind was the equivalent of them telling her no.
family. I was like, oh shit.
Well,
Oh,
it's
that's
my
horrible.
chosen family. Yeah, my chosen family gave it to me.
Okay, you're friends. And
Yeah.
the thing is, I got context around, oh shit, this lady's queer. Why would they disown her? That's horrible. That's bad. They shouldn't have disowned her there. Oh, wait, they didn't.
It's probably not any of her friends. She's probably in some weird polycule or some degenerate shit like that.
She did. So I got the context around that. So, okay, then I learned more from that context that you disown them. So that's why context is important.
Yeah.
Maybe they would
Like-
need context. It sounds like they don't agree with you politically, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
not an inherently bad thing. But requesting context is not a form of extremism. Now,
Would this be a good time to mention that
it
my
wouldn't, because I'm going to
pronouns
continue
are they
speaking.
them?
Sure.
I don't really care, Margaret. Excuse me, Doomsday.
Yeah, if I remember that, I will try my best. Out of courtesy.
Yeah, pronouns is something you earn through respect. I have no respect for this woman, for this little girl masquerading as an adult. It's like, no, I'm not going to respect your pronouns. You're a fucking girl. You're going to get she, her. That's what you get.
And respect for you as an individual, it is very difficult sometimes to just remember.
It's sort of like how my friends can call me Rex, and people I like can call me Rex. People I don't like, they must refer to me as your lordship or his lordship. Though there are not a few people that it sounds really nice and rather sexy when they refer to me as my lord and your lordship.
In the heat of a conversation,
Sure.
right? But I will try my best, especially, well, okay, they, them, yes, very good. If it's the name, okay. No, I respect
They
the
are
pronouns. I just,
Doomsday.
it's hard to
And,
remember.
you know,
Them
that
is
one, that was like the breaking point for
Doomsday.
me and my parents, since you're asking about my
Well,
parents.
that makes more sense. You brought up the dictator. Here's the thing.
I don't take chances and doubt I use it. If they're so rattled by pronouns, I push the buttons. I might even go out of my way to deliberately misgender them. Because if they really are that fucking fragile, they deserve to just be needled and mogged on about that. Are you actually a lord, though? I got one of those things from established titles.
I want to finish my point. No, I want to finish my point. If they said, yes, I want generals that act like full-on dictators, then I would shake your hand and say, yes, that is extremist. That's bad. But they asked for more context around a quote that you chose to bring up. Because I actually do not remember that quote. Maybe you are taking it out of context. Maybe you're not. But them asking for a little understanding of the context around it is not
Rex, I dread to imagine your language around black people. Well, I don't drop the N-word when I'm hanging around them, although Spider Bro has given me the N-word pass. I just speak to them like this, like normally. I don't speak jive, if that's what you mean.
an inherently extremist position. If they agreed with it on the face value of those words, that would be extremist. I don't think you know what extremist means. And it is dangerous that you use that, because there are actual extremists in this world that are doing bad things. So they disagree with your
I don't speak jive, you dig, homie?
If I ever had a child, they would allow said child to be in the room with the president if it was an opportunity for them.
I would meet any
not do
president.
that.
That would be really cool.
No,
Yeah,
I do
I
not.
mean, look, chance to meet President Biden, President Obama, I wouldn't exactly be thrilled about it. Former President George W. Bush, President Trump's like, all right. Most of the previous presidents have been rather disappointing, but, you know. I'm told that President George W. Bush is a very friendly, affable sort of chap, so I would agree to a meeting of that. President Obama, President Biden, is like, all right. But, you know, if Biden starts soiling his adult diaper, I'm just going to get up and get out and leave the room. And that's assuming he even knows what the fuck is going on. And, you know, President Obama, I'm just like, all right, I'll shake hands, I'll say hello, ask him how his day is going, but it's like, can we make this quick, please? Prime ministers, I mean, current Prime Minister of Japan, would love to chat with her a bit more. I could probably talk with her for hours. Maybe see if one of her ministers, the cute one, the cute girl one, see if she can chat me up to her, because I'd like to take her out to dinner. Honestly, I would want the Prime Minister of Japan to show me her Toyota sports car that she still has. I just want to go on like a country drive with her. That would be fun. That'd be great fun because, you know, I like cars. She likes cars. She's got a really great car. And then the other one, forget her name. She's super cute. Cosplayed one time as an anime schoolgirl or something like that. But she's really into anime. I guess she's been like the Minister of Culture, something like that. I would chat with her for hours. We'd be binge watching anime, and I would take her out on a date. I probably would, even though she's apparently sworn off all men because, you know, no one can even come close to her favorite anime husbandos. But damn it, I'd try. Prime Ministers of Britain, I would. Keir Starmer, I would not have kind things to say to him. I would probably spend most of the time berating him. I would probably get thrown out of the country for the things that I would say to him. It would probably culminate in me calling him a togaff. I could probably have a decent conversation with someone like Liz Truss. Most of the other ones, no. I probably would risk getting into fisticuffs with Boris Johnson, just because I would not have kind things to say to him. It would culminate in me also calling him a togaff and a blithering idiot. I don't know, is John Major still alive? I might be able to have a decent conversation with him because he's an affable man. Even though it's just like, brother, you were given so much with post-Thatcher and kind of just went back to managed decline. Well, what are we even doing here, mate? Gordon Brown, no. Tony Blair, fuck no, I would not have any kind things to say to him. And I would be like, you are responsible for all of these bad things that have befallen our beautiful country. And there is a special place in hell for you. You are also a togaff. But you're not a blithering idiot like Boris. Now, this is just amongst the living. Unfortunately, the Baroness Thatcher is no longer with us. But even then, I would have some criticisms for her. If the Queen gave you a title, I'll give a nod. I have looked into acquiring an actual, honest-to-goodness title. With the ownership of a square foot of land somewhere in Scotland, yes. I like Theodore Roosevelt, quite a set of the national parks as well as Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln not so much. Teddy Roosevelt, though, he was goated. He was goated. And so was Eisenhower, yes. I mean, without Eisenhower, you wouldn't have the interstate highway system. You're a welcome in, though lose the fedora, my friend. You don't need it. Queer Stormer is dead and gone, but the UK won't get any better until Rupert Lowe does his job, yes. He's about the last best hope for all of England. His ascension to the premiership cannot come soon enough.
Not want to share a space with a sex offender. 34 counts.
Okay.
Especially
well, I mean, I would just meet
A
the executive of the
child.
president of the
Yeah,
United
hypothetical child. You're not having children, girl. You're not having children. Not with the way you're going.
States of America, regardless who it is. I'd love to meet Obama, Biden.
Wow, Rex paid £5 fine British pounds for that. £5? Daylight robbery.
And Trump. Yeah, why not?
No, I don't want to meet a sex offender. Yeah.
Okay. Have you met any before? Knowingly?
Not knowingly.
Okay. I mean, that.
You probably live with some in your polycule, dear, and they haven't told you yet. I'm sorry. You probably do. Yes, millions must go.
Fine. You. I don't think you were invited.
Two ways to be given a title which bring you into the British nobility. Ennoblement or a confirmation of nobility. I think there's still a few titles out there that are actually for sale. They're rare, but if you know where to look, you can find them. It's actually a bit more of a, from what I understand, it's a bit more of a grey area than what some people think.
Choice you have been actively given?
Again, I'm just That's why
I
that's
don't
the rift
understand
between
what
my
that has to
parents.
do. They would meet the president of the United States. That's not very controversial.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything Trump does. I didn't agree with everything Biden does. I would happily meet them out of the respect for the office of the president of the United
Yeah.
States.
So
I
my
mean, you meet them, though depending on who they are, you might not be very happy to meet whichever particular president or prime minister or whoever. I mean, if I am summoned by His Majesty the King for an audience, I'm certainly not going to say no, even though not a fan. Don't really like the idea of them changing things up to where he's the defender of multiple faiths and creeds and everything else. It's like, no, Your Majesty, you are the head of state. You also at the head of the Church of England, second only to God, and that's it. Nothing else. Everything else, that's not English. It's not British. It's no. Just no. After going to the Churchill War Room, I half want to Webley. Been to the Churchill War Room before. It's actually an interesting exhibit. Half Scottish, the rest is Anglo-Saxon. Breaks my heart what's been done to our fatherland, yes. It's a crime of just biblical proportions.
parents just don't get to be in my life as an adult.
Because they would
full-
meet the president of the United States if they were asked to meet the president of the United States?
be
Are you sure they're the extremists? That seems like a more extremist position. Where if
No,
someone,
who's the real
you're one of those people
extremist?
I'm already reading, if they disagree with 1% of things, they're a fascist.
It's like Vox Day once said about social justice warriors. They always project.
Ah. You saying no would have been the proper response. You not responding is actually quite staggering. I have a feeling you're actually the extremist.
I
Cheers.
believe that there are solutions that are
Final solutions?
no. I believe that there are solutions that we could implement in
What the fuck is up with these nails? What ungodly sum did she pay to get these atrocious things? That looks awful. Normally people summoned by the monarch here usually have quite some time to prepare. It's usually arranged ahead of the actual meeting. Transport normally done by car, but also sometimes done by black carriage. I believe that's fairly standard procedure throughout most monarchies in the developed world. Looks like something a kindergartner did. Yes.
our society
The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets.
that could improve people's quality of life.
That'd be good. What's one?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
So we could
so excited.
certainly provide things like toothbrushes and toothpaste to people for not a charge because
well, that's nice, but at pretty much
Toothbrushes and toothpaste. That's the best you can come up with. Really? Clip is still funny, yes. 99% of people accusing Trump of fascism cannot even define fascism. No, they can't. Fascism is just a word they use. It's just like a magic spell. It's whatever they disagree with. And they're just labeling that to set that person or thing up as a target for death and destruction.
wait. Listen, there are rural communities. That gets difficult, but
yeah, I've actually visited those rural communities.
wow,
Oh,
you went
good
to a
for
farm.
you!
Well, I've been to lots of.
You want a
states.
medal?
I've been traveling.
She's well traveled, nice and privileged. That's great. So
Yeah, well, what a privileged young girl you are. Look at you being able to travel about places with your yelling at clouds sunglasses and your fancy little stars on your librarian chains and your atrocious looking blue hair that your roots have grown out and it looks like you haven't been to a proper hairdresser in quite some time. In other words, fascism is I can't read the rest of that, Harold.
But what I was
Okay.
going to say is in most communities, just like you can go, toothbrushes and toothpaste is a very common thing to give at pantries and whatnot.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so
but
I
it's
don't-
something that we're doing as people.
So
in
the government's
community.
going to fund it. That's your proposition that's going to fix society.
There's lots of
I mean,
things that the
that sounds-
government could provide to its people that it's not.
What about
doing.
something a little more substantive?
A phone?
Okay,
A phone or internet
government.
service? Yep.
phone. Oh,
Mhm.
why?
Okay.
How are they providing the internet?
Well, they
A phone's different. They could
absolutely had
This bitch has no idea just how shitty government internet truly is. As someone who has worked in the civil service previously, I can tell you it's shit. It's bad. It's like she wants that for everyone else. No. No, give me Starlink, give me Spectrum, give me Cox Communications, give me Google Fiber, give me AT&T. Leave it in the hands of the privateers.
the infrastructure to do so. They could build light rails. There's so much.
Odds on it being a Disney annual pass child? I don't know if she has the money to pull that off. I genuinely don't know that she has that much cash. I would be surprised. She would be the perfect candidate for something like that, but I think she's too poor.
That our government
Light
could
rails.
do.
Have you seen? They
Yes.
have, in fact, not been able to build light rails. Actually, that's kind of one of the things.
There's one that's
It's not
being
light rail,
built,
high speed rail in California
Okay.
specifically, but
but
light
Elon's
rail
involved
here in Austin,
that one.
Texas. What?
So
It's
Elon
not
Musk was
fucking
supposed to-
happening. It's not happening. Aside from the Amtrak system that the Americans already have, nationwide public transport systems just not happening. States' rights alone gets in the way of that. And then the individual state, county, and municipal fiefdoms of government, they all want to do everything their own way. And therefore, nothing gets done on that. There will never, ever be a viable light rail or national public transit system in America. It's just not going to happen because all the levels of government can't get out of their own way, and the automotive lobby won't wet it. Perhaps she has financial troubles because of her Disney passes. Possibly, I don't know. I'm sure we can find out later. Even Amtrak says public transport by train for nationwide coverage is impossible at American scale. At least they own it, and they're right. They're just like, we can't do it. We don't have the technology. Actual Amtrak statement: a continental public railway service system is simply not feasible for the American public. They're right. You are better off flying or driving. They're probably flying. That's another thing. The airlines, they won't wet it. The automotive and the airline lobbies will not wet it.
be part of that build for the light rail, and
You know,
ended
it's
up-
mostly been environmental protection laws.
that it prevented it.
Yes, environment.
Yeah, environmental protection laws and Nimbies. I know in Texas there was a lot of talks pre-pandemic about setting up a high-speed rail system. The original pilot line would have been between Dallas and Houston, and they would have used N700 Japanese Shinkansens. I think they would have remodeled a portion of Union Station in downtown Dallas, or something next door to it, and then a dead shopping mall in Houston. And those would be point A, point B. And you'd have N700 high-speed Japanese trains running backwards and forwards all day, taking you from Dallas to Houston in 90 minutes, compared to about a 4 or 5 hour drive between the two cities if you were to take Interstate 45. It never went anywhere. They got a lot of buzz on social media and in the press, and then a couple of politicians whose constituents reside on farms right in the pathway that they wanted to build high-speed rail got onto it like a dog on a bone, tried to push bills through banning high-speed rail all across Texas. I don't think those ever went anywhere, but ultimately what did it all in was the pandemic. When everyone locked down, they could not keep the momentum going. They could barely keep it going even when we weren't, when everyone wasn't locked down. And so the thing has just sort of died. And it's a pity because it was a sound idea, I think, and would have been a fantastic alternative. But the fucking Nimbies in the little 2-meal podunk towns between Dallas and Houston just wouldn't hear of it. Like, oh, my family's farm, been in the family for generations. I was like, fuck you, man. You've seen traffic these days on I-45. It's shit. We shouldn't have to keep having to endure 4 and 5 hour road trips to get between the two largest cities in Texas and the United States. We should be able to get there in 90 minutes in the pleasant comfort of a high-speed Japanese train. Fuck you and your NIMBYism. I want my goddamn trains. I know I'm not going to consider the alternative of going to the airport and flying between the two cities. I want to jump on a train and be from one city to another in 90 minutes.
Mental protections, all the different services that have had to take place have delayed building it substantially.
There's good reason for regulation, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Regulation
No.
is what protects our water, you know? Like data centers are not
Oh, my dear girl. Has no one introduced Flint, Michigan to you? You can have all the regulations in the world that you like, but if the system is corrupt or beyond all repair, the water supply is still going to be shit. All the regulations in the world do you no good whatsoever if you've got the wrong people in power. Why don't you go to Flint, Michigan, try to drink some of the water out of the tap? Let me know how that goes for you. I'll see you after you've dealt with the various health problems and explosive diarrhea. Japan has a nice train setup. Yes, they do. It's also a smaller country, though. So it's fitting that they would have something like... We could have something like that in the UK if the government would get out of its own way. We could have that in the United States if all levels of government would just get out of the fucking way. And if you just steamroll right over the NIMBYs. That's a lot of ifs to get out of the way. Things have been fixed today. Let's fucking go. Drink a glass of wine in your name tonight. Cheers.
there's like regulations that people are trying to get around for data centers so that
What are
like
you
they
talking about right
can
now?
profit.
Serious.
Huh? That
You're
was just
saying-
Oh no,
nonsense.
profit. We can't have that now, can we?
That was just, you just took like 4 talking points and mashed them together. What were you
That
actually
is
trying to say there
All
about
she
data
has.
centers?
That is all she
Yes,
has.
data centers are being built far too quickly and trying to skirt
According to who?
regulation and
Skirt
not
regulation?
asking for the community's consent.
Not as
They bought the land. It's zoned for something like that. They can do that. As long as they're not poisoning the watershed, it's their land to do with as they wish. And also, my dear girl, you have also fallen for a Chinese communist psyop. But then again, you are a self-described socialist, so it would make sense that you sound like a useful idiot in the most literal sense of the word.
I think that's actually one of the big things because communities have been showing up in mass.
Yes, and successfully getting memorandums. Yeah.
Which will be damaging to those communities and their tax base, absolutely.
Yeah.
As we know, in Northern Virginia, many communities where most of the data centers are and big data center collections.
Mhm.
The communities would be better off having the data centers built. It will mean more tax revenue, despite whatever sweetheart deal they manage to work out. They're not much to look at, but they would be a net positive for the community. Again, so long as they're not noisy and don't damage the water supply. But we all know that the way these sorts of people operate, if they don't get their way, they're going to make it hurt somehow. Because that's apparently what you just do with political power these days. You keep putting it up to a vote until you get your way. And if people don't vote your way, you make it hurt. which I know not exactly a ringing endorsement for data centers, but you also have to think about who benefits from that sort of thing. Can the community derive some sort of benefit from it? Yes, absolutely. But in the AI arms race, people like Kevin O'Leary, despite being an absolute incontinent arsehole, he's right that if you don't build it, China will. And come to find out, they're the ones funding these anti-data center NIMBY protests. You can make underground data centers. It's being done in Norway. Farmers rent underground space beneath their farmland. Company comes, digs it out, builds the data center. Small entrance building made and a ventilation building somewhere else. The data center is buried. Farmer gets to continue farming on the land on top of it. That's brilliant. We should do more of that.
Like more old school data centers, it pays for 50% of the property taxes, meaning brand new schools, lower property taxes for homeowners and renters. It's been very beneficial.
I don't know if that's necessarily going to lead to lower property taxes. It's not in government's nature to lower property taxes.
But they reduce the quality of life for the people.
Well, that's in that community, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 15% of the data centers, maybe 25% are in residential areas. The other 75% are not, which means it does not reduce the quality of life for the people.
That's the important of regulations, is and also getting community input is
Okay,
deciding
well,
where to go.
75%, the majority are not in community areas. So how's that impacting their quality of life?
Well,
They get to use their phone. The free phones you want to use, the internet? Yeah, they need data centers.
There's a lot that our government
can't really do the whole internet thing without data centers. You like playing around with your generative AI, you're going to need data centers for that.
be doing to
What
support
is
our
it? What's
lives.
your concern with data centers? Because there's a lot of misinformation going around. What's your concern?
Water quality?
What about
sound
water
quality?
quality? Sound. That's in the residential areas, which I don't think a lot of people want. A factory.
Well, I've actually been to a council meeting where they were talking
That's
about
crazy.
how
They happen everywhere. Good for you.
they
Listen,
talked about
I
how
don't
they
think
want to
people.
change the rules of brown.
Oh, I went to a town council meeting, okay? And that's supposed to, make you an expert all of a sudden? She really is trying to min-max the whole credentialism thing here, isn't she?
How they want to measure the sound, so it's actually about the pitch that it's at rather than the decibel. So.
Well, I'm sure both play a big quality, but the reality is, I don't think I want a car manufacturing plant behind my house. I don't think I want oil being drilled behind my house. I don't think I want a turbine.
Like a library,
I wouldn't want a library because I wouldn't want a library. I actually wouldn't want a library because here in Austin, Texas, a library, you know what happens here? Our beautiful library downtown, go to it afterwards. That's where every single homeless person hangs out, which means that's in my backyard. That's not what I want.
That's capitalism.
Another reason that America will never have a viable public transport system. Don't know the last time any of you rode like a light rail system or, local transit system, be it buses or trains, somewhat in the US. It's mostly homeless people that use that. It's not some sort of egalitarian thing where rich and poor alike ride the train or ride the bus. No. Those who have cars, they just drive their cars. People who ride public transport, mostly just the dirt poor and the homeless. Shocked she doesn't have larger biceps for all the goalpost moving she undertakes, right? But if she doesn't move the goalpost, then she can't win.
Homeless people existing and us letting them just crash the library?
What are we doing to improve their lives? What?
We've bent over backward for those people. Most of them are drug addicts and the insane. We used to have better systems in place for people like that. They were called state-run mental health institutions. Reagan closed those in California, and all the other states followed shortly thereafterward. And when he did that, all of a sudden you had cults with weirdos springing up everywhere. And the Manson family, bring back the asylums. We really do need to bring back the asylums, and we probably need to have this one in particular committed.
What social programs are we providing other than
Well, a
libraries?
lot of property taxes and millions of dollars thanks to Austin, Texas, and the Arc downtown, which they can go to, but they can't do drugs inside of it, so many don't go to that. We're also buying
No, again, drug addicts and the mentally insane. That's what it is. That's what we're dealing with here. Let's lock them up in some gothic building with high walls and lightning and thunder. But enough about Arkham Asylum.
motel here in Austin, Texas to house them and do housing first policies. And that's why my property
This is
taxes
my
are
first
so
time in
high.
Austin, Texas.
And that's what they're doing in a lot of communities. Like the tens of millions, or actually
Making
billions,
a
I
pig's
apologize,
breakfast
in
of it all.
California, where the city of Los Angeles couldn't even pass an audit on their homelessness spending of $1.6 billion, where they didn't even know where that's going. I would say
Yeah, because it's all just a gigantic slush fund and vote buying scheme. That money gets siphoned away from the taxpayers and handed out as bribes and walking around money for homeless people and other grifters to go and to, when the time comes, to go in and vote for whatever Democrat politician du jour either desires power or wants to stay in power, which is why Kevin Bass is the mayor of Los Angeles.
actually a lot of things are going to them to help them. Has it worked? No. But you know what has worked? Houston, Texas.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was just in Kansas where they have like a ton of mutual aid. I've been following mutual aid. How is the community like?
Historically blue Kansas, yeah. So this isn't a political debate, regardless. But also, I mean, most recently there was a nice little shooting at the library, so that's why I don't want to have it down in my backyard personally.
Yeah, what a shocker. Homeless drug addicts and the insane getting their hands on firearms and then shooting each other and killing each other. The thing that never happened again. I am shocked, I tell you. Vivian Moon, welcome in. Good to see you. Hopefully the convention went well. We'll send you pictures. All right, then.
But the point I was trying to make, I don't want to have a car manufacturing or a lot of the different infrastructure type things in my own personal backyard. But guess what? I still want us to have car manufacturing. I still want us to have
Yeah.
data centers.
You would
I
hope-
still-
That's why we have things called zoning laws. We need more Nick Shirleys. Can we clone an army of the guy, aim them at California? I would say, Dante, at this point, it is going to take you yourself. If you want it that badly, you're going to have to go out and be your own version of Nick Shirley. Grab your phone, go to the story, and start recording. Start asking the hard questions. And post your findings on social media. We do need more Nick Shirleys, but if you believe that in your heart of hearts enough, you need to be the next Nick Shirley. It's come down to you. It can't be someone else. It's the question of, if not you, then who? If not now, when?
I
That
want to
they're
have these
accessible
things,
to you.
but they don't necessarily need to be in my backyard. So that's why a lot of data centers are trying to build in the middle of nowhere. But then people freak out in the middle of a desert. That would impact no one.
They
Like
have
you
to,
likely would.
They have to build a lot of infrastructure, and they're not.
Which is usually
considering
Considering they
where
build
the
their own
resources
power.
are.
They're building their own power.
Correct.
Yeah, these data centers require a lot of electricity. And so if they want it that badly, they're going to have to supply their own power. Or do the noblesse oblige thing and increase the electrical capacity of present infrastructure. I mean, we are careening at 100 miles an hour at the big debate of we have to start building more power plants, and especially more coal-fired and nuclear power plants. And we cannot let conversations of 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl and Fukushima get in the way of that. I need to get a portable camera. No, you don't. I mean, a GoPro's nice. You can do it with your phone, mate. What about my anonymity? Can a VTuber interview fraudsters? You are going to have to hit the streets and do the whole beat reporter thing. That means going outside and touching grass to an extent. And I mean, I suppose you could try to shield your face, but good luck getting people to talk to you like that. At some point, you're going to have to step out of the shadows and reveal yourself. There's only so much you can do from behind a VTuber avatar, unfortunately.
They're building their
What's
own
your issue with that?
grids,
Yes,
but
what's your issue with that?
I've been studying AI for
Then why can't
a
you speak
long
on it?
time. Well, but what I've been studying
You've
is what
been
it's
studying it a long time, and you sound like you know absolutely fuck all about it.
capable of. It's like right now it's this.
Okay, this isn't a
this
political debate.
hot
I don't care about your
topic.
AI. Are you afraid it's going to take your job?
Daryl, add Carrera subway tile to my shopping list. I ain't doing it.
What do you do for a job? Do you have a job? Because it
do.
really doesn't sound like it.
I work in finance.
I find that very difficult to believe. And if you do happen to work in finance, this is likely a DEI hire in some sort of corpo daycare job.
Doing what?
I do corporate finance for stadiums and arenas.
So you work for Ticketmaster and Live Nation?
Like Ticketmaster?
Yeah.
Not Ticketmaster, but we do
Live
work with
Nation,
Ticket.
then.
Yeah, okay. So you're one of the actual evil capitalists.
By day a villain, by night a hero.
No, I think just by day and by night, you're kind of a villain. You certainly have the villain's hair color. You certainly have the mentality of a villain. You don't look like a nice person. You look like a rather ugly person. And if Homath has taught me anything, it's that ugly people are usually evil. Finance, yeah, right. The title sounds like a lot of high and mighty bullshit. She probably has a corpo daycare job. She doesn't know the meaning of the words fascism or hero, no. For her, words are just a means to deceive humans.
Trying to prevent modern infrastructure? That's weird. That's being a hero? That's
No,
weird.
going to concentration camps. Yeah, I actually just got
Oh.
back
You went
from
to
Delaney.
Auschwitz?
I just got back from Delaney.
Albert Max Frey? What? You went to Auschwitz? Well, what are you on about, girl? Okay, travel privilege, whatever.
Hall.
Where's that?
Where-
Yeah, I actually just got back
You went
from
to
Delaney.
Auschwitz?
I just got back from Delaney Hall.
Okay. Delaney Hall, good for you. Do you want a medal? I was like, is that name supposed to mean something to me? It clearly doesn't mean anything to Sir Caleb over here. She's studying the death camp she plans on building to put normal straight people and white men in. Yeah, probably. She looks around at that sort of things like, oh, this is actually a lovely idea. Shame we can't use that against normal straight people and white men, especially the white men, because behind those eyes is just the murderous urge to want to kill all white people.
Where's that?
That's in New Jersey
There's a concentration camp in New Jersey?
and many other states as well. Yeah, there are detention
Concentration
centers.
camp?
Yep.
She's starting to shift her tone into this whole gaslighty thing of what I'm saying is the absolute God's honest truth. It's absolute undeniable fact, and you're a bad person if you don't believe me. Yeah, you're an evil Nazi if you don't just accept everything that I'm saying as gospel. Rather use a portable camera than a phone so no personal information gets lost or stolen. I mean, there's an idea. That's a good plan. Switch out concentration camps with FEMA camps and her with Alex Jones, and I might care about what's being said, right? I would take her more seriously if she would be talking about how corporations are putting chemicals in the water that are turning the freaking frogs gay.
They
What-
have barbed wire and awful living conditions and maggots in
Oh,
the food,
no.
and abusing the people in there, no due process.
Yeah, we're probably gonna file this under shit that's not happening.
That's a concentration camp.
Okay.
And so
No, I'm fairly certain we have differing definitions of a concentration camp, and you best watch yourself with use of that sort of terminology, especially around individuals of the Jewish persuasion because you think mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name will get you cancelled. Wait till you get a load of what that lot can do to you.
So people are rightfully outraged and are out there to demoralize the people who are going into those.
I asked her what her job was, by the way.
Yeah, that's that's right. He did. It's like, how the fuck do we get off on this? Fucking hell.
Finance. And you asked if I was a bad capitalist.
So she's
I'm
talking
a
about
socialist.
concentration camps. You're a socialist?
Yes.
Okay, you know socialism has never worked. What socialism are you in favor for?
Oh, it only works. It only works. I've really been trying. I want real socialism. Fuck off. There's a few Jews in New Jersey. One or two. Yeah.
Here we go. Get ready.
I believe that
Take a system.
a system.
Take a system in the world.
Yeah.
that
Any
you're in favor
system.
of.
Literally any
That you
system.
would rather be our system.
I just don't want it to be capitalism, nor do
take
I
a
want it
system.
to be.
Take a-
No, sorry, dear. Anything but capitalism. No, that's not a valid answer. He asked you to pick a system. Pick a system. Pick a fucking lane.
A system that has worked that you like and would like to replicate here.
Capitalism.
Take a system, please, that
what
has been proven to
system?
work in any country.
I love this. I love how he's just so aggressively pinning her down.
Anywhere.
We
That is better than our system, please.
Yeah.
capitalism
Yeah, please find.
does
in-
not.
Okay, that's great.
Go off, girly pop. Come on. Pick a lane.
Yes, you have your talking points. That's wonderful. Now pick a system that has worked anywhere better than here that you would rather have.
Well, that
I'm
your
waiting for it.
Your
No, no, no.
definition
Literally-
of better is like
No.
not valuing.
Just stop with the moving the goalpost. Pick a lane.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
We see what you're doing, girly pop. You're trying to do the whole goalpost moving so that you don't really have to give any sort of definitive answer, so that you don't really have to defend any sort of position, because you know you're already on shaky ground as it is. You haven't really thought all this through. You don't really have any sort of deep arguments for any of this. It's all ultimately performative virtue signaling with you. You know, when the chips are down, you don't really believe this sort of thing. You just say it because it'll get you good girl points with the cool kids crowd, whatever you regard that as these days. You're just doing this because you think it is the socially acceptable thing to do. And there is no deeper thoughts beyond that. She probably has never once picked up a copy of the Communist Manifesto or Das Kapital and read it in her entire life, to say nothing of other books like Road to Serfdom or, just any other book critical of Marxist systems. Even Xi Jinping in his writings is of the opinion socialism in its historical ideological form is not possible. Yet China stopped being a communist country long ago. They're just, they really are an authoritarian type country. It's just, at this point, it's just power for its own sake. The labels of communism and the Communist Party, it's all window dressing. Same with the Vietnamese. They claim to be a communist government. You go to a place like Ho Chi Minh City, and it's bustling capitalistic metropolis. It's all window dressing. And turns out they really did do, like Ho Chi Minh said, repelled the foreign imperialist invaders and then invite them back for tea. Because even the Vietnamese realized that the Americans are easy and better to deal with than the Chinese. It's basically the old imperial Chinese governments of the Ming and Tang dynasties dominated by the military bureaucrats and eunuchs, but without the emperor to strong-arm them. Fair description, I'd say.
about my definition, your definition. I'm asking you to choose. Don't cater to my definition.
And I'm choosing socialism.
No. Yeah, but pick it. Pick another country that has worked.
Pick a lane.
And
Please.
unfortunately, we are an imperialist.
Never tried real socialism.
Nah.
Imperialism
really,
is
yeah.
hurting those socialist countries.
It hurt the USSR.
It's
Weren't
hurting
they
Cuba
imperialist?
and Venezuela.
They were.
Yeah, the blockades that we're doing for
Okay,
the
for what it's
oil
worth,
in
oil
those
production
places.
dramatically fell after the state took control of Venezuela, and it hurt their economy dramatically well before our embargo. You
Yeah, they just, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
might be right about Cuba, but no, Venezuela did it themselves before we embargoed. Timeline-wise, so you're just wrong. They had a slush fund coming in when it was collecting taxes from the
What I'm
private
not wrong
enterprise.
Before Chavez came into power, times were good for Venezuela. Chavez came in, and yeah, it just made a mess of everything.
About
Oh,
is
okay,
the
no
fact
rebuttal. That's
that
great. So what system, please?
capitalism
Okay, again, I just asked what her
prioritizes
job was.
the
Oh,
profit.
here we go. Please pick a system, one place that according to your values you would rather do.
New York.
That's not socialist. That's the most capitalist place in the world.
But Mamdani is out there doing
He's
social...
democratic socialist.
Yeah,
Socialist. He
yeah.
still believes in capitalism. You know
We
that,
have to
right?
start somewhere.
No. That is still capitalist. All his policies are funded on the tax revenue generated by capitalism. That's capitalism. That is not.
And none of it's really going to work. It's all going to lead New York City to further ruin. You've got so many more wealthy elite types that they're already planning their exit. Some have already gotten out. Some are still in the process of getting out. It's... God has just sort of forsaken New York City at this point. The favor of God and the hand of God is lifted off of that, and it's like, no, you're done. It's over.
Taxes
A
are
worker-based socialism. Taxes come from the capitalist state.
You know, same in the UK. Before Tony Blair, things were very good for the citizens. Then something happened. I mean, yeah, granted, the Thatcher years, the John Major years, they weren't great for certain elements, like the lower classes in Britain. Rich definitely got richer, but I think it is safe to say, even in the early to mid 90s, before Tony Blair, Britain was in good shape. And then everything went wrong. Tony Blair went in, that was the beginning of the end. Never been the same since. And I don't know if it'll ever really get back to that. There's a possibility, but I don't know. Disappointed the Mamdani 4th of July speech wasn't the end of his career. Didn't even watch it. Didn't even bother. I figured I knew the sort of things he was going to say, because he is the type that just plays true to form. In another time and place, 20, 30 years ago, it would have been. Even as going about as far back as that, it would have been. I don't think even people who are, fairly left on the spectrum, like Michael Bloomberg, would have stood for something like that. People like Rudy Giuliani definitely would not. But New Yorkers in general, they would have said, no, fuck no, we're not having that. Now, there's not enough of those true New Yorkers left. I think New York has basically, at this point, become another version of London, of just majority minority. The brown hordes moved in and outbred and outnumbered the native-born white population, and there's nothing left of the true New York anymore, is there? The government decided to uninvite Trump officials from the yearly celebration of Danish-American relations on July 4th. Well, to be fair, officials in the Trump administration, they're kind of busy, whole 250th birthday, that sort of thing. I had no clue you do Bible studies. Well, it was Elijah Knightley's idea. I happily agreed to it. It was a good conversation. After a convert a week or two ago, bought a Hamilton khaki mechanical. Oh, lovely. How are you liking it, Jan? Also, hello. Royal family, on the other hand, did give out a congratulatory message, as they usually do. Well, that was nice of them.
Still. So no, that is not socialist. But if that's what you like to see, then don't call yourself a socialist, because that's not socialist. That's still capitalism. That's more Scandinavian. That's European, which is still funded on capitalist systems. I was hoping you were going to say something like Sweden or the UK. I was hoping you were going to say something like that, which are still objectively capitalist countries.
Mm-hmm.
not socialist by any means of the imagination. They have some more social programs, all
They do have
funded,
social programs.
all funded by the success of capitalism, all funded by the marketplace and the wages
So what
created
happens
by
if you do
capitalism.
more social programs? How many social programs do you have to do before it's social?
When is enough enough for you? It's like, seriously. It's like Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is eventually run out of other people's money. And with people like her, it's never going to be enough. Yes, there is important concepts like noblesse oblige. It is good and just and right that millionaires, billionaires, and even our sole trillionaire in the world, Mr. Musk, should dedicate large sums of money to public works programs, building up schools, universities, public facilities, renovating city halls, opening up libraries, endowing certain foundations to do whatever. Maybe even plant some churches, I don't know. I'd rather them do it through the sort of Andrew Carnegie method than have some stupid bureaucrats take the money and then piss it all away on themselves and their friends. Very smooth, just got to have to give it a bit to see how it runs. Lie to them, I below and G-Shock, though. Interesting. The wants and needs of the materialist woman are a bottomless pit, indeed. And, I mean, just looking at her, she is quite a materialist woman. I mean, the hipster-type problem glasses, the hair color, the decorative, blingy fake nails, little bits of jewelry, childish cloud-shaped sunglasses that she has at the top of her head. This is a woman who consumes product and gets excited about next product. And that's why she's broke and on financial audit.
You're talking about social programs. Socialist is a completely different economic structure, though.
Right, where the worker has
State-run.
their
Well, it's
relationship to
state-run.
the means of production.
State-run, but yes. State-run. That wouldn't really create much. You know what happened in the USSR? With all the land, most arable land almost in the world besides the United States and I think Ukraine. Well, they had to import all their wheat. The vast majority of their wheat. It doesn't work. It doesn't create the outcome. People need to eat. And
People
it
do need
doesn't
to eat.
work. You know what's actually more
Are
important?
we feeding people under capitalism?
Yes. Have you seen our poor people? They're fat.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. The fat people are now so fat they got to go on GLP-1s, which are now starting to be heavily underwritten and subsidized so that more people can get their hands on them. And they're trying to get them to go genetic as quickly as possible to make them more affordable for more people. Even though jury's still out on the side effects of those. But also crazy how so many of the fat acceptance people, so many of them, almost to a woman, they're on GLP-1s. Because even they realize, not sustainable, not getting any action in the bedroom. So shoot themselves up at GLP-1s and probably starve themselves and get thin that way. Always have to expose themselves with their hairs if anyone gives a rat's ass, Ever been to a Walmart? They have scooters in the aisles. Yes, they do. Most American supermarkets and Walmarts, they've got those little electric scooters. Also welcoming, good to see you. Prefer ungoliant. The never-ending hunger consumes all light and grace. Grace is very much a foreign concept with someone like that.
Yes. The poor people in the United States have to take Ozempic.
Okay, but is it because the cost of chips is more than minimum wage?
Chips? You think that's what's necessary for a sustained lifestyle?
I think that it's one of the cheapest things you can get from the gas station.
Gas station? Should we be doing?
I'm sorry. Do you do all your shopping at petrol stations? If that's where you're going to get your packets of crisps, you're shopping the wrong place, girl. It's like, go to a fucking supermarket. You can get more for your money there. I mean, I would agree with her that, ingredients in a lot of American foods, especially snack foods, they're shit. It's all chemicals and things that will make you fat. But even that is changing because enough people are bitching and moaning and whinging about that to where a lot of people are realizing it's like, these big food companies, they could have done that all along. They just didn't. And it doesn't really cost them a thing. If anything, it's probably cheaper that way. We need a fit hero as a shining example rather than policy people to emulate the results and sex appeal. We used to have that, and then enough fat people complained too much, and now apparently that, along with so many other nice things, we're not allowed to have. She's going to complain there's food deserts in America. Probably.
Doing our grocery shopping from the gas station, I think we've gotten some pretty bad advice if we're talking about meal prepping.
Well, you would know a thing or two about meal prepping.
Yes,
I
I have
don't.
a meal prep
I don't
book.
belong in a kitchen.
Okay.
Actually, that's your natural habitat. That's where you need to. That's where you need to go, girl. Your place is in the kitchen and the home, and in the bedroom. But it damn sure is not in corpo daycare or in the boardroom. You would do well to actually learn how to cook your own meals. Fairly certain she DoorDashes everything. It seems to be a common theme with a lot of people that end up on Financial Audit, is that they DoorDash everything.
Really fighting the patriarchy on that one, aren't you? Brave
You're
woman.
so stunning
So
and
they-
brave.
Whatever. You know what I mean. Okay, so are you able to speak on anything, or is it just performative based bullshit? Because here's the reality. Here's the reality in the
We
end.
are having food deserts and hospital
Oh,
deserts.
called it. Called it. Food desert. There you go, did I? She said the thing. She said the thing. 3, account watching you, incorrigible rapscallion. Our Supreme Herald does like to hop between the different stream simulcasts.
And we're having
Yes.
those because it is not as profitable to have groceries
Go visit Nevada that have plenty of edible cacti and little critters.
and
But there's still
hospitals
lots
out
of
there.
public
but
funding.
there is intrinsic value in supporting your community.
Okay,
and,
so
and
how would we
capitalism does
combat?
not.
How would we
I don't disagree with that. It's going about that. It's the way that you want to support the community that's absolute shit. And it doesn't really support the community. It just makes everything worse.
combat a food desert in your mind? What is the actual outcome?
State-run grocery
proposal?
stores.
Okay, and those have always worked very well. Anywhere done.
I mean, state grocery stores really impact people's lives when they're in food deserts. Yeah,
Okay.
Mhm.
Where have they been done successfully?
Kansas.
State-run grocery stores.
Yes,
Okay.
that actually Kansas was the model for New York.
Let's
Aren't the state-run grocery stores in New York, aren't they already at risk of closing? Stop stealing from the stores, they'll quit moving away, right? They'll also quit having to lock deodorant behind reinforced clear plastic case. But that can also be solved by just not letting the wrong people come into your shop and steal shit. That can be fixed by simple things like profiling. It's like, no, you look like trouble. No, you are a known troublemaker. No, you cannot come in. Fuck off, get out. And if necessary, respond with deadly force. It's like, oh, these places are having to lock these things behind a case. I can't get deodorant like normal people, or, toothbrushes and toothpaste. I was like, well, who are you letting in? Oh, those people? Okay, then don't let those people in anymore. You bar them from entering. And you do so with force. And makes it an even easier way and perfect pretense to just put them in jail. Food deserts are mostly in ghettos. Gosh, I wonder why. You can order almost everything online, get fresh food delivery nationwide. They'll even drive across the state lines to deliver it. They will. I don't know, sometimes the fees don't necessarily make it worth it. It's better to just go to the supermarket and get it yourself. But yes, food deserts, mostly in ghettos. And it's ghetto people behaving in a ghetto way. And then they wonder, why can't we have the nice things like in the good neighborhoods? Well, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You act ghetto, you're going to get ghetto results. I know because I live in one of them. Ultimately, you get what you tolerate. And this stops when we stop tolerating ghetto behavior. But unfortunately, we're still not there yet. You got a lot of people talking about it, but nobody really acting on it. And when you have enough politicians pushing it, and even enough vigilantes, which, officially we can't endorse anything like that. But when you start seeing stories in the press and on social media about vigilantes that just hit their limits and respond accordingly to that sort of ghetto behavior and just basically say, no more, we've had enough. That's when you start seeing the tide turning. That's when you start seeing that sort of thing changing. And ghetto people realizing, man, if I keep fucking around, I'm going to find out. Better stop this. And then you might have a chance of going back to having nice things again. Used to be a nice place here before they all moved in. Yeah. Once the message is delivered that that sort of behavior will no longer be tolerated, they will either change their ways or they themselves will move out. In which case might be a perfect opportunity to pick up rental property on the cheap. Again, we don't endorse vigilantism here for obvious legal reasons. But when you start seeing enough of that, when enough people reach their limits and they start going in that direction, things will change. Until then, you get what you tolerate.
Listen, if it works, then I'm down for it. I'm only okay with things that have
a lot
worked.
of mutual aid, but they still have a large homeless population.
Your proposal first, outcome.
Yeah. Funny how that stuff just tends to act like opiates. You're just giving a drunk a drink. That's all you're doing. And you show me a state-run supermarket, I will show you something that probably doesn't have consistent inventory and probably frequent shortages on key items. Whereas the normal supermarket doesn't have that problem. Trump's a softie, we need an Asmongold in charge, Old Testament be the rule of law. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Last. Outcomes are all that matter. I don't care if you sound like the moral good guy, moral masturbator, performative person when it comes to the... Yes, I'm sure you masturbate. When it comes to the policies that you're proposing, okay?
That's all she's got.
That's all that
She probably does not have a boyfriend. Her boyfriend is a vibrator.
matters to you is sounding good, looking good on the front
But
end,
it's
not the outcomes in the
functionally
end.
possible. We have the
Functionally
ability.
possible. You know what's functionally possible? We have the highest disposable income anywhere else in the
We
world.
also
That is
have
the money
an
you have.
incredibly large military budget.
Okay, I don't know what that has to do with the disposable.
Speaking of which, moving to Brandy, cheers to all you lads in chat. The one girl lurking. All right, Dante, cheers.
Income. This is what's so hard talking to people like you, because you had nothing to do with the point I just said. You just went somewhere else. Yes, we have a high military budget. What is
And
it? 15,
hope that
20%
you would not
of our federal
notice
budget? Social programs
what
are
you did.
50%. So what do you want?
Why are we cutting them?
I don't think it's going to go below 50%. It's still substantially high.
We're cutting
We're
them
not cutting our
pretty
mandatory
drastically.
spending. You know what's actually going to be cut? Social Security by 2032.
I don't have it.
You'll have Social Security, but only what's coming in. You know why? Because we refuse to invest the Social Security.
No, look, realistically, realpolitik talking here. Social Security, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Bravo, or whatever they call themselves, you're going to have Social Security. You're just not going to have as much Social Security compared to the boomers and Gen X. You still get it. Just realistically speaking, it's not going to be as much because the one constituency, the boomers, they had the organization and they had enough piss and vinegar in them to fight for generous Social Security, and they got it. Millennials and younger, they don't have that. They don't have that fire in them. They don't have that piss and vinegar in them. So they're not going to get as much. They're just not. Now, if they start acting like the boomers and fighting for what's theirs, might have a chance of getting fairly decent payouts. But more than likely, it's just going to be less than expected. They get something, not much. It's going to be yet another generational rug pull. Large military budget is actually a small part of a very large GDP. Yeah, more of it is entitlements and Social Security. Imagine what it would be like if we didn't have any of the fraud. Yeah, it might actually be in the black instead of constantly running deficits. What a concept. Amazing what happens when you don't siphon off for graft and corruption.
Security fund in the 90s into the capital that we have in the United States, the most capitalist thing we have, the stock market, it would have returned an average of 10% a year, and it would be a massive slush fund. But instead, people like you decided it was too risky, and we put it in low-yield treasuries, and now it's going to be depleted by 2032 because of freaks like you that don't understand anything about basic economics. Yes. Yes. I'm going to be real with you. Your debt is not the same as everyone else's. You've got your own unique mix of credit cards, maybe some medical bills, personal
Sponsor
loans,
time.
and collections. Whatever. Your interest rates are different. Your payments are different. Your life is different. So why do you need some one-size-fits-all solution that treats you like a number? Some generic calculator that spits out, just pay more. As if you hadn't thought of that already. That's what sets PDS apart. They don't just look at your balance and say, good luck. They work to understand your specific scenario and help provide alternative solutions to becoming debt-free. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills, PDS Debt has customized options designed specifically for you. Not your neighbor, not some average case study. You. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt.
Good
And here's the thing,
God.
there's no minimum credit.
It takes him an hour to finally get to the proper financial audit. I honestly don't know how much more of this I can take, chat. This woman's idiocy is going to drive me positively around the bend. I'm going to need a stiff drink after this.
I'm sure it's a mixture of inheritance. I'm sure it's a mixture of investing. I'm sure it's a mixture of
Bourgeois.
investing through they made the choice. You could have invested. You could have saved.
I am investing.
From 21 to 25, you could have enough for a 5% down payment. FHA, yes, you could. Absolutely. I know for a fact you could. At $60,000 a year, yes, in North.
Yeah. This woman makes 60 grand a year at her job. And she's broke.
In South Dakota?
I just
yes,
got
I know
that
for a
wage.
fact.
I just got that
What were you
wage.
doing before?
50.
Okay, you could have in South Dakota. You'd have been fine.
And I
Damn, she
haven't always
is-
lived in South Dakota.
She's living well. I wish that these sorts of job offers would have been made to me postgraduate, which just goes to show you there is such a thing as DEI and diversity hires, and she's one of them.
Okay, where were you?
I was in Maryland.
Maryland may have been a little harder. There are higher cost of living areas. Again, that's zoning problems, not an actual wage problem.
I think we're just going to stop here, chat. Spoilers with her. Makes 60 grand working for Live Nation or totally not Ticketmaster. Completely broke. Lives out of a car. She's trying to do the van life with a converted ambulance. Life subsists of eating food from truck stops and DoorDash. And she's nothing saved for retirement. And apparently, according to the premium content, she never paid her taxes. So the useful idiot they, them, with the awful Timu Hatsune Miku hair color, prattles on and on about millionaires and billionaires needing to pay their fair share. She hasn't paid her taxes. Now try and square that circle for me. 60, is that a month or a year? I think 60 grand a year. She's honestly just a terrible person. And she's getting what she fucking deserves.